Stardust and black coffee equations. Oliver Chun's third shirt button perpetually jutted upward, much like the cowlick he could never tame. In the glass labyrinth of Silicon Heights Tower's 27th floor, the Chinese-American data analyst resembled forgotten code, hunched in a gray cubicle farthest from the CEO's office. His ID photo had been half devoured by the printer, mirroring his presence. Even the office microwave's hum commanded more attention. Yet every morning at 8:07, his fingers would ghost over a lavender-scented coffee cup, calculating the precise moment when the building's ventilation currents would carry the aroma to her desk. The frost-veiled morning their orbits collided began with a single word: move. The glacial voice sliced through the elevator lobby's chaos. Oliver's armful of reports snowstormed across marble tiles. As he scrambled to gather them, his gaze climbed diamond-studded Jimmy Choo stilettos to legs sheathed in iron-gray tailored trousers. When he finally dared look up, the breath fled his lungs. Victoria Sterling regarded him as a glacier might a speck of dust. Her beauty was a blade dipped in poison. Silver-white hair not bleached, but born of some Arctic curse, was coiled into a ruthless French twist. Porcelain skin revealed faint blue veins beneath, her brow sharp enough to fracture moonlight. Storm-churned Atlantic hurricanes froze in her gray-blue irises. A natural upward tilt graced her crimson lips, though none had witnessed it soften into a smile. "Your tie," she stepped over his scattered papers toward the private elevator, "is stained with convenience store mustard." When the elevator mirrors swallowed her reflection, Oliver realized his whitened knuckles still clutched the offending silk. The ventilation system carried lingering traces of her perfume frostbitten lily over a base note of orphanage disinfectant. He shook off the hallucination, but not the arrhythmia pounding at 118 BPM, 23 beats faster than when he'd uncovered last quarter's financial leak. 17 nights later, Oliver detected anomalous data waves at 2 a.m. The CEO's office hummed with the mechanical purr of servers, blue light bleeding under its titanium door. He found Victoria curled on a Chesterfield sofa, moonlight lapping at her silhouette. Her unbound hair cascaded like spilled galaxies across leather still imprinted with daytime fury, lashes casting fragile shadows over sleepless bruises. And 4-tube clung to her finger, nutrient fluids long depleted, a marionette severed from its strings. Suddenly, he deciphered her secrets. The moth-eaten cardigan sleeves beneath her Chanel blazer, the top-buttoned collars hiding cigarette burns on her clavicle. The tyrant who reduced executives to tears kept a dog-eared little prince by her pillow, its pages cradling a faded amusement park ticket stub. Who granted you entry? The awakened Victoria armored herself in steel, yet her pupils constricted at the crimson crisis on his screen. They battled data demons till dawn, her manicured nails scoring equations into mahogany, his voice steady as he translated chaos into code. When first light trembled against her fingertips, Oliver heard himself whisper, 1.5 sugars, stirred counterclockwise, 37 times. Am I wrong? Her coffee cup hovered mid-air, a crystallized exclamation mark. Thereafter, Oliver's thermos steamed with twin fragrances each dawn. He computed her migraine cycles like liturgical rhythms, smuggling ginger compresses beneath cup coasters. Decrypted her stiletto wear patterns through security footage, laying non-slip mats before storms. Scribbled, "The third ginkgo's gold begins to fall," on recycled printer paper 3 days later. Her desk displayed autumn leaves suspended in crystal. The act felt less like courtship than compiling a fragmented encyclopedia titled Victoria Sterling, an annotated survival guide. Cracks spiderwebbed her armor in unexpected moments. She'd sniff her latte absently, after reducing a venture capitalist to tears. Clutch. Today's sunset deserves a D major sonata. Notes during helicopter ascents. Even traced the Chinese character Chun in condensation during billion-dollar negotiations. Her PA once discovered her staring at a spreadsheet cell reading equals coffee, rouge blooming across her cheekbones like corrupted data. The monsoon night he found her gnawing bloodied nails in the emergency stairwell. The 38-year-old CEO trembled like a flooded sparrow. "They're sending me back to the orphanage." His threadbare sweater enveloped her as he hummed a lullaby that mirrored her fractured childhood memories, a tune about paper boats and persimmon moons. That rain-lashed night, two orphans fished for reflections of their stolen youths in each other's eyes, their shared silence louder than any boardroom scream. On Christmas Eve, Victoria hacked security systems to flood every corporate screen with Oliver's coffee algorithms. As the slouching man was pushed into a glittering code rainstorm by bewildered colleagues, she ripped off her $1 million diamond choker, silver hair cascading through alarm sirens like a cracked encryption. "You breached all my firewalls yet never detected ... Her kiss landed on his crooked button, tasting of espresso and gunpowder, a collision of ones and zeros rewriting their source code. Years later, as Silicon Valley buzzed about the AI queen dismantling her empire for a clerk, none knew about calloused hands pollinating blue roses in the rooftop greenhouse. He still kept coffee-stained memos in a dented cookie tin. She still wore couture jackets with 20-yuan flea market gloves. One dawn, surveillance caught her emptying 1.5 sugar packets into his herbal tea, stormy eyes glinting with starlit mischief as she whispered, "Reciprocal sabotage, Mr. Chun." Like all fairy tale's shadow selves, this wasn't salvation. He remained the constant variable in her chaotic equations, she the infinite series expanding his barren universe. When two fractured primes collided across decimal points and damaged childhoods, they finally stopped pretending to be whole numbers. Some nights, when nightmares clawed at Victoria's throat, Oliver would map constellations between her scars with Python code recited like poetry. And when his imposter syndrome screamed louder than server fans, she'd dismantle his fears with surgical precision. Your value isn't in solving problems, but in noticing what deserves to exist. Their love spoke in binary and bruises, and coffee rings and reconstructed memories. On their 10th anniversary, the former Ice Queen presented him with a DNA analysis proving their orphanage lullaby shared a 93.7% melodic match. "Margin of error plus or minus 2.3%, she declared, lips twitching as he spilled oolong over the lab report. "Still terrible at statistics," Oliver laughed, dabbing tea from her collar. Victoria's smile finally unfurled, a private supernova contained within a 1.5 sugar grin.